Yvonne, everything started about 2 weekends ago when Manshika Prasad, who is a Fiji national but has lived in Australia for several years, she was crowned Miss Universe Fiji, and 24 hours later, the drama began when we were told a mistake had been made and that actually her runner-up, Nadine Roberts, who is of part Fijian ancestry but is an Australian national, was then crowned as Miss Universe Fiji. Since then, it's been almost 2 weeks of tit-for-tat drama on the daily, with now even allegations of sexual assault having taken place during the pageant. But what we do know for sure is that the organizers and the judges were all foreign nationals. There were almost no Fijians involved in this pageant at all, Yvonne.
Well, there are allegations of vote rigging and also suspicion around an Australian businessman. Fiji government is now investigating.
That's right. What we're seeing now is that there clearly are two factions: the people who own the franchise to run a Miss Universe Fiji pageant and the people who are contracted to run the event, both seemingly with queens of their own choices. And allegations are now quite rife that each of these factions were trying to crown either of the two women at the center of all of this. But I did speak with the Minister for Local Government, Matthew Nalumisa, who has confirmed that the government is looking into this and he is talking to legislators to see how they can prevent this from happening again. But some pretty shady characters are now being reported all over the world as being at the center of this, Yvonne.
Is it an important point to note that this is Fiji's first Miss Universe pageant in more than 40 years? There is a long history of pageants in the Pacific, though.
That's right, 43 years, in fact, since the last woman from Fiji was chosen to represent the country. And there have been questions over the last 2 weeks with reports coming in from all over the world, people fascinated around why this is happening. And I guess the answer that I've come up with is that the way we do pageants in the Pacific is quite different. It's a lot more to do with culture. In fact, the Miss Pacific Islands pageant, which is the premier pageant of the Pacific Islands region, almost all of the categories require an intimate knowledge of one's indigenous culture. And so that may be the reason why we haven't really competed on an international stage, although it must be noted Fiji does send contestants to the Miss World Fiji. But yes, there is quite a drastic change between how pageants are done in the West and how it's done here in the Pacific, where it's become more about promoting the beauty and the culture and the people of the Pacific.
Fascinating to talk, Lice. Thank you.
Pinaka.